The plaza buzzed with life. Hover cars zipped above, neon signs flickered in bright colors, and humans and aliens mingled in the open-air market. Alex leaned against a railing, his eyes scanning the crowd. He had always been curious about people, always noticing the small details others missed. The way someone's hair moved in the wind, the quick glance of a child toward an ice cream vendor, the rhythm of footsteps on metal walkways. It was just another busy day in Nova Prime, the human colonized city on the edge of known space. Yet something unusual caught his attention. Across the plaza, a woman stood near a shimmering fountain. She had an aura about her that made everything else fade. Her hair reflected the neon lights, her eyes held a spark of curiosity, and her posture was both confident and gentle. Alex felt his gaze linger longer than he intended. He didn't usually stare at strangers, but there was something dazzling about her. Something that made him pause, almost as if the universe itself had nudged him to notice. She noticed, too. Turning, slowly she met his eyes. Her expression shifted from curiosity to amusement. "Why are you staring at me?" she asked, her voice soft but clear, cutting through the noise of the plaza. Alex froze for a moment. His mind raced. He wanted to say something clever, something that would match the feeling bubbling inside him. And then, without thinking, he spoke. "Because you're dazzling." For a heartbeat, time seemed to stop. The plaza's chatter faded into the background. She blinked, then her cheeks turned a gentle shade of pink. A small, shy smile appeared on her lips. Thank you," she said quietly, looking down for a moment before meeting his eyes again. Alex felt his heart beat faster. He wasn't usually this bold. But there was something about this moment, something that felt important. "My name is Alex," he added, extending his hand. "Lyra," she replied, shaking his hand with a warmth that surprised him. The connection was instant. Not the kind of connection that is loud and overwhelming, but subtle, like two puzzle pieces clicking together perfectly. "Are you new here?" Alex asked, gesturing to the plaza. "Yes," Lyra said. "I just arrived from the Andara colony. I'm here on work." She hesitated for a moment, then smiled. "Mostly research." Alex nodded. "I work in engineering, fixing things, building things. Nothing as exciting as research in another colony." Lyra tilted her head, curiosity lighting her features. "Humans are known for their creativity. Maybe you'd be surprised at how exciting it can get." They walked together along the plaza, weaving through the crowds. Alex pointed out interesting architecture, old relics of human history, and neon murals depicting the first colonies beyond Earth. Lyra listened intently, occasionally laughing at his observations, sometimes adding her own insights. "Your colony must have been beautiful," Alex said, glancing at her with genuine interest. Lyra nodded. "It is. Mountains that glow under the twin moons at night, forests that hum with life. But being here, it's exciting. Nova Prime feels alive in a different way." The plaza was a mix of old and new. Hover vendors sold exotic fruits while holographic. Performers entertained the crowds. Robots moved gracefully, delivering items or assisting visitors. Yet, amidst all this chaos, Alex and Lyra seemed to exist in their own quiet bubble. They paused near a fountain. The water shimmered with colors that reflected the neon lights above. Alex leaned against the railing, his eyes on the dancing water. Lyra stood beside him, her gaze moving from the water to his face. "You have a way of noticing things," she said softly. "Not everyone sees the details the way you do." Alex shrugged. "I guess I just like understanding people, the world, everything. Sometimes it feels like the universe has hidden patterns, and I want to find them." Lyra smiled, a hint of admiration in her eyes. "That's rare. Most people rush through life without noticing. They spent the next hour talking about small things, favorite foods, childhood memories, dreams they had yet to chase. Alex learned that Lyra loved old human literature, even though she had grown up in a colony dominated by technology. She admired nature, even in artificial forms, and had a quiet bravery that drew people to her naturally. "I'm glad I caught you staring," Lyra said suddenly, her tone teasing but warm. "Otherwise, we might never have talked." Alex laughed, a little embarrassed. "I didn't mean to stare, at least not for long." Her eyes sparkled. "Well, it worked. You got my attention." As the sun set behind Nova Prime's towering buildings, the neon lights grew brighter, reflecting off the plaza's metallic surfaces. The city pulsed with life. But for Alex and Lyra, the world felt quieter, smaller, and more intimate. Then Lyra glanced at her communicator. "I should get to the research center. There's a briefing about a mission soon." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Mission?" "Yes," she said, a spark of excitement in her eyes. "Something that could change everything for humans. I can't say much yet, but it's important." Alex felt a thrill. Humans, facing the unknown in space, using their ingenuity and creativity to solve challenges, this was exactly the kind of thing he loved. "Maybe I could help?" he asked, unsure if he was being too forward. Lyra looked at him, surprised for a moment, then smiled. "We'll see. But I like your confidence." As she walked away toward the spaceport shuttle, Alex watched her. Go. The plaza seemed bigger, emptier somehow, yet filled with promise. He knew this was the start of something unusual. Not just a mission, but an adventure, and maybe, just maybe, something personal. For the first time in a long while, Alex felt the pulse of excitement, the thrill of discovery, and the warmth of connection. And he couldn't help but smile, because Lyra really was dazzling. The research center hovered like a silver jewel above Nova Prime, its sleek towers glinting under the twin suns. Inside, the corridors buzzed with scientists, engineers, and pilots. Every wall was lined with holographic screens displaying star, maps, energy readings, and reports from distant colonies. The air smelled faintly of ozone and metal, a scent Alex had grown used to whenever he visited high-tech facilities. Lyra led the way through the bustling halls, her steps sure and confident. Alex followed closely, trying not to trip over the glossy floors. He had never seen anything like this facility. It was a combination of human ingenuity and alien technology, a place where the impossible seemed ordinary. "Wait here," Lyra said, stopping at a reinforced door. "I need to brief the team. They don't usually allow visitors, but you might find this interesting." Alex nodded, his curiosity burning. "I promise I'll behave." Lyra smiled, then disappeared inside. Alex glanced around, taking in the surroundings. Engineers worked on hovering drones, scientists adjusted instruments that measured energy waves from distant stars, and other human specialists studied alien artifacts recovered from unexplored regions. It was a hive of activity, yet everything moved with purpose. After a few minutes, Lyra returned. "Follow me," she said, leading him to a circular room with a large, hollow table in the center. Several scientists gathered around it, their faces serious. The holographic projection above the table showed a swirling nebula, glowing with strange colors and patterns that Alex had never seen before. "This is the Scifi Nebula," Lyra explained. "It's about 200 light-years from here. Recently, we've detected unusual energy fluctuations within it. Non-human probes can't analyze it properly. They fail or are repelled. We believe there's intelligent activity inside." Alex leaned closer, fascinated. "Intelligent activity? Like aliens?" Lyra nodded. "Possibly. But the readings are so strange, we can't be sure. That's why we need humans. Your creativity, adaptability, and quick thinking might succeed where machines fail. A murmur went through the room. One scientist raised an eyebrow. Humans? Really? Lyra met his gaze firmly. Humans. We've seen them solve problems others can't. They think differently. They take risks. That's exactly what this mission needs. Alex felt a mix of pride and nervousness. Him? Risk-taking? Could he really help? But the spark of excitement in his chest told him he had to try. The plan, Lyra continued, is to send a small team into the nebula. We'll monitor the energy flows and investigate the source. It could be a new form of energy or something else entirely. She glanced at Alex. We'll need someone skilled in engineering, someone who can improvise if things go wrong. You fit that role. Alex's eyes widened. Me? Really? Yes, Lyra said firmly. You're quick, observant, and you noticed me in a plaza. That same attentiveness can save lives in unknown space. Alex laughed nervously. I guess noticing things is my thing. Lyra smiled. Good. You'll also need to work closely with the pilot, the navigator, and me. This mission isn't just about brains, it's about teamwork. Humans are strongest when they adapt together. The team went over the details of the mission. Alex listened intently as Lyra explained the nebula's energy currents, possible hazards, and the limited windows for safe entry. Holographic simulations projected the swirling clouds of plasma, dangerous storms, and alien structures rumored to exist inside. Alex realized quickly that this was far more complicated than he had imagined, but also far more thrilling. After the briefing, Lyra led Alex to the hangar where the human ship Lumina awaited. Its metallic surface gleamed, sleek and aerodynamic, with reinforced shields and advanced propulsion systems. Pilots moved around it, checking instruments and making final preparations. This is it, Lyra said, running a hand over the smooth hull. Our home for the next few weeks, or longer, depending on what we find. Alex stepped closer, feeling a thrill. He had worked on many ships before, but something about this mission felt bigger, higher stakes. The unknown waited, and humans were the ones daring enough to face it. Are you nervous? Lyra asked, glancing at him. A little, Alex admitted, but mostly excited. I've never been part of something this important. Lyra smiled, a blush coloring her cheeks. Good. You'll need that excitement. Caution is important. Yes, but curiosity and bravery, that's what makes humans shine in space. Alex followed her aboard Lumina. The interior was warm and functional, with consoles, chairs, and instruments ready for exploration. The captain, a seasoned human pilot named Kara, greeted them. She was tall, confident, and had a calm presence that immediately put Alex at ease. Lyra, she said, nodding, I see you brought an engineer. This is Alex, Lyra replied. He noticed things no one else might. I think he'll be useful. Alex shook Kara's hand. I'll do my best. Kara smiled. Good. You'll need 2. Nebula missions aren't easy. As the ship prepared for launch, Alex stood by the window, watching Nova Prime shrink beneath them. The city lights twinkled like stars, a reminder of humanity's reach and resilience. He felt proud. Humans had built this world, tamed the stars, and now were daring to explore beyond what anyone had dared before. Lyra stood beside him, her hand brushing his accidentally. Alex felt a spark, quickly trying to ignore it. He focused on the mission. The engines roared to life. Lumina lifted off smoothly, leaving the city behind. Outside, the stars stretched into streaks as they accelerated into faster-than-light travel. Alex's heart pounded with excitement. This was no longer about a plaza or a fleeting glance. This was about humans facing the unknown, using courage, brains, and determination to reach new frontiers. Lyra glanced at him. Ready? Alex nodded. Ready. The stars blurred around them, the nebula waiting ahead, mysterious and inviting. Alex realized that humans weren't just explorers. They were problem solvers, risk takers, and dreamers. And this mission would prove it. As they jumped into faster-than-light speed, Alex felt a quiet thrill. Not just because of the mission, but because of Lyra. She had noticed him first in the plaza. Now they were partners, stepping into the unknown together. And in that moment, Alex understood something simple and profound. Humans shone brightest when facing the stars, not as machines, but as people, curious, daring, and dazzling in their own way. The Lumina glided through space, leaving Nova Prime behind. Outside the reinforced windows, stars stretched into streaks as the ship accelerated to faster-than-light speed. Alex leaned against the console, staring at the patterns of light. Space had always fascinated him, but this close, it was breathtaking. Endless darkness, dotted with shining points of light, each a sun with its own stories and secrets. Lyra walked beside him, holding a tablet filled with mission data. "The nebula isn't close," she said. "We have several days of travel before we reach the Sapphira Nebula." Alex nodded, excitement bubbling inside him. "I don't mind. I've always wanted to see space like this." She smiled, a small blush appearing on her cheeks. "Few people get to experience it this way. You're lucky." As they walked through the corridors, Alex noticed the crew working efficiently. Kara, the captain, checked navigation instruments and adjusted the ship's course. A navigator, Joran, monitored energy readings, ensuring their faster-than-light jump remained stable. Engineers and scientists moved like a well-oiled machine. Yet, Alex realized that humans weren't just machines. They thought, improvised, and adapted in ways no artificial intelligence could. Later, Alex joined the engineering bay. Panels of glowing lights, wires, and tools surrounded him. He loved this part of the ship, the hum of machines, the challenge of fixing or improving them, the satisfaction of solving problems in real time. "Looks like someone's eager to work," Lyra teased as she leaned against the doorway. Alex grinned. "I like to keep busy. Helps pass the time." "Good," she said. "You'll need that eagerness. Things rarely go perfectly in unknown space." As they worked, an alarm suddenly rang. The ship shook lightly, warning lights flashing red. "What's happening?" Lyra asked, her voice calm but alert. Alex rushed to the console. "Micrometeor. Storm." Sensors picked up small debris moving fast. "Could damage the hull if we don't act." Kara's voice came over the intercom. "All hands, brace for impact. Alex, check the shield controls." Alex's fingers flew over the panels. He recalibrated the shields, rerouted power, and monitored the ship's hull integrity. Sparks flew from a minor electrical panel, but he fixed it quickly, using spare parts from the storage bay. Lyra assisted, monitoring energy flows and adjusting shields to match the meteor patterns. Together, they guided Lumina through the storm. After several tense minutes, the alarms ceased, and the ship returned to calm. The crew sighed in relief, exchanging nods and smiles. "You did well," Lyra said, placing a hand briefly on Alex's shoulder. "I'm impressed." Alex felt a flush of pride. "Thanks. Teamwork made it easier." Lyra's eyes met his, and for a moment, the hum of the ship and the stars outside faded. They shared a quiet connection, a mutual respect built not just on skill, but on trust. The days passed as the Lumina approached the nebula. Alex and Lyra spent hours analyzing data, running simulations, and preparing for the unknown. They shared stories of home colonies, childhood adventures, and dreams that had seemed impossible. Alex learned that Lyra had always been drawn to exploration and discovery, much like him. One evening, Alex stood by the observation window, watching a distant star pulse softly in the void. Lyra joined him, leaning against the railing. "Do you ever wonder what's out there?" she asked, her voice almost a whisper. "Every day," Alex replied. "It's endless. And humans. We've only just begun to scratch the surface." Lyra nodded. "That's why this mission matters. The energy in the nebula, it could change everything for humanity. Our colonies, our technology, even the way we understand the universe." Alex's mind raced. The responsibility was huge, yet he felt ready. Humans weren't just passengers in space. They were problem solvers, explorers, dreamers. And now, he had a chance to prove it. As they worked late into the artificial night cycle, a new signal appeared on the sensors. Lyra's eyes widened. "Joran, check the reading. Alex, help me analyze it," she said. Alex crouched over the console. The signal was faint but structured, unlike anything from natural space phenomena. Patterns repeated, almost like a code. This could be intelligent," he said, his voice tense with excitement. Lyra nodded slowly. "Exactly what I feared, or hoped. The nebula isn't just energy. Something, or someone, is there." Alex felt a thrill mixed with a hint of fear. Humanity had faced challenges before, but this was different. They were about to enter uncharted territory with unknown entities and potential danger. Yet the excitement of discovery outweighed his fear. Over the next hours, Alex and Lyra worked side by side, decoding and simulating the signal. They discovered it wasn't hostile, at least not yet, but curious, probing their presence. "Humans are unpredictable," Lyra said, watching the patterns change as Alex adjusted the analysis. "Maybe that's what they want to see." Alex smiled. "Unpredictable can be good. It can save lives." Lyra glanced at him, a subtle blush on her cheeks. "I think you're right." As they prepared for the nebula, Alex realized something simple but powerful. Humans shone brightest when faced with the unknown. Machines could follow instructions, but humans could adapt, create, and find solutions no one expected. And now, with the nebula ahead, they would need every ounce of human ingenuity. The stars blurred again as Lumina jumped closer to the edge of the nebula. Outside, swirling clouds of color and light beckoned like a living puzzle. Danger and discovery waited in equal measure. Alex took a deep breath. "Here we go," he said, more to himself than anyone else. Lyra placed her hand briefly on his arm. "Together," she said softly. Alex nodded. Together, they would face the unknown, prove humanity's worth, and perhaps discover more than they ever imagined, not just about the universe, but about themselves. The nebula loomed ahead, beautiful, mysterious, and alive. The adventure had only just begun. The Lumina approached the Saphira Nebula, a swirling expanse of color and light that stretched across space like a living painting. Shades of violet, blue, and gold twisted together, forming clouds that pulsed with energy. Sensors flickered as the ship entered the outer edges, struggling to stabilize against the nebula's unusual electromagnetic currents. Alex gripped the console tightly. He had never seen energy behave like this. "These currents, they're unpredictable. Our shields will need constant adjustment," he said, his fingers moving rapidly over the controls. Lyra stood beside him, analyzing the holographic projections. "It's beautiful and dangerous," she said softly. "But the signal we detected is coming from deeper inside. Whatever is there, it's waiting." The ship lurched as a sudden wave of energy hit the shields. Alarms blared. Kara's calm voice cut through the chaos. "All hands, brace for turbulence. Alex, keep the shields stable. Lyra, monitor energy signals." Alex worked quickly, rerouting power and recalibrating the shields. Sparks flew from a nearby panel, but he didn't hesitate. Lyra's hands moved over her tablet, adjusting sensors, and guiding him through the energy fluctuations. Together, they steered the ship through the turbulent currents. After several tense minutes, the alarms stopped. The nebula's energy calmed, at least temporarily. The crew exhaled, a mixture of relief and awe in their expressions. "What is this place?" one of the scientists whispered, staring at the swirling clouds outside. "It's a puzzle," Lyra said. "And we're the first humans to try to solve it. That's why we're here." As the lumina moved deeper, strange structures began to emerge from the nebula. They were enormous, translucent formations that glowed with the same pulsing energy. At first, they looked like natural phenomena, but closer observation revealed intricate patterns, geometric shapes, and movements that suggested intelligence. Alex leaned closer to the console. "These formations, they're alive, or at least aware of us." Lyra nodded. "Exactly. They've been observing us, just as we've been observing them. Humans are unpredictable. Maybe that's what interests them." The alien structures sent out waves of energy, probing the ship. Shields flickered under the pressure. Alex's mind raced. "If we respond carefully, maybe we can communicate, not with words, but patterns." Lyra's eyes lit up. "Yes. Use sequences, pulses. Humans have intuition machines can't match. It's our advantage." Together they devised a method. Alex adjusted the shields to emit specific energy pulses, while Lyra guided the patterns, creating signals that matched the formation's rhythms. The structures responded slowly, shifting and glowing in new sequences. "It's working," Lyra whispered, awe in her voice. "They're responding." The crew watched in silence as the nebula seemed to come alive around them. Colors shifted, shapes moved, and the signal strengthened. The intelligence within the nebula wasn't hostile. It was curious, testing the humans' ability to adapt and understand. Alex felt a thrill. Humans weren't the fastest or strongest species in the universe, but their creativity, their intuition, and their courage allowed them to face unknown challenges. And right now, that ingenuity was saving them. Hours passed as they navigated. Deeper. The nebula became more intense, storms of plasma threatening to tear the ship apart. Yet, every time danger approached, Alex and Lyra found a way to adapt. They improvised, calculated, and acted together, proving that humans could survive even in the strangest environments. During a brief calm, Alex glanced at Lyra. She was watching the formations with wonder, her fingers resting lightly on the console. "You're amazing," he said softly. Lyra looked at him, cheeks flushing. "We're amazing. Together." The nebula pulsed around them, almost like it acknowledged her words. Alex felt a quiet sense of connection, not just with Lyra, but with the universe itself. Humans were explorers, problem solvers, dreamers, and in this place, their qualities shone brighter than any star. Suddenly, a massive wave of energy surged toward the ship. The shields strained under the pressure. Kara's voice rang out, sharp and commanding. "Brace for impact!" Alex reacted, instinctively adjusting power flows and reinforcing weak points. Lyra matched his efforts, analyzing the energy patterns and predicting the next surge. Together, they guided Lumina through the storm, skillfully weaving around the energy currents. Finally, the wave passed. The ship floated in the nebula's calm center, surrounded by the glowing structures. The crew exhaled, exhausted but exhilarated. "What is that?" one scientist asked, pointing to a structure glowing brighter than the rest. Lyra studied it closely. "It's the source, the intelligence or energy we've been tracking. We need to approach carefully. Any wrong move could destabilize the structure." Alex nodded. "I'll handle the shields and systems. You guide us safely closer." As they moved toward the structure, Alex realized something profound. Humanity's strength wasn't just technology or weapons. It was creativity, courage, and the ability to think beyond the expected. Machines could follow commands, but humans could adapt, improvise, and find solutions no one had imagined. Lyra glanced at him. Ready? Alex took a deep breath. Always. The ship drifted toward the glowing structure. Energy rippled across its surface like liquid light, forming patterns that seemed almost alive. Alex adjusted the shields, ensuring they could withstand sudden pulses. Lyra guided them, translating the energy sequences into a language of patterns. Humans could follow. As they approached, the structure shifted, opening a pathway into its core. Alex felt awe and excitement. This was more than discovery. It was communication, a first contact of a unique kind. Humans were standing where no one else could, proving their ingenuity and bravery. Lyra smiled, her eyes bright. We're doing it. We're really doing it, Alex nodded, his heart pounding. The nebula wasn't just a place of danger, it was a challenge, a puzzle, and a testament to human potential. Together, they had entered the unknown and survived, relying on creativity, courage, and trust. And in that glowing heart of the nebula, Alex realized something simple but powerful. Humans were capable of more than they often believed. They could adapt, inspire, and even dazzle in their own way, just like the person who had first caught his eye in a busy plaza. The adventure had deepened. The nebula held more mysteries, and Alex knew this was just the beginning. The glowing structure loomed before the lumina, massive and intricate, pulsating with energy that seemed alive. Alex felt his chest tighten with awe. Every line, every pattern moved with purpose. It wasn't just a natural formation. It was intelligence made visible, a civilization's thought rendered in light and energy. Lyra stood at the console, her fingers moving over holographic panels as she tried to interpret the signals. This is incredible, she whispered. The structure is a library of energy. It contains information, patterns, maybe even knowledge, and it's reacting to us. Alex adjusted the shields as the ship floated closer. So it wants to communicate or test us? Lyra nodded. Perhaps both. We need to be careful. One wrong move could destabilize it, and we'd lose access to everything inside. The nebula hummed around them, resonating with the structure's energy. Alex felt a thrill mixed with tension. Humans had faced dangers before, but this was unlike anything he had encountered. Yet, it was the challenge that made him eager. Humans had always thrived when faced with the unknown, using curiosity, courage, and ingenuity to survive. Let's try a controlled interaction, Lyra suggested. We'll send energy pulses in a simple pattern. If it responds, we can advance gradually. Alex nodded. Carefully, he adjusted the ship's energy output, sending steady pulses toward the structure. Slowly, the glowing patterns shifted, forming sequences that mirrored theirs. The first contact was subtle, almost imperceptible, but unmistakable. It's working, Lyra breathed. It understands the signals. It's responding to our thought patterns, our logic. Alex felt pride swell within him. Humans had always adapted, found solutions in impossible situations, and faced challenges others could not. Now, in this alien nebula, their creativity was proving essential. As they moved deeper, the structure opened pathways like doors of light. Alex guided the lumina carefully, adjusting shields and propulsion to match the energy flows. Each movement required precision and thought, yet he felt exhilarated. Humans were explorers by nature, and every instinct told him they were exactly where they belonged. Suddenly, a surge of energy swept through the ship. Lights flickered and consoles beeped urgently. Alex reacted instantly, stabilizing the shields and rerouting power. Lyra monitored the readings, calling out adjustments. Together they navigated the challenge, proving once more that humans could adapt where machines might fail. As the turbulence passed, they reached the structure's core. It was a vast chamber of pulsing light and energy, intricate patterns moving. Like a living code, Alex's eyes widened. He had seen wonders before, but this was beyond imagination. "It's beautiful," he whispered. Lyra smiled, her cheeks flushed. "And dangerous. We have to understand it carefully. The core radiated energy that could power entire colonies, stabilize failing habitats, or even unlock technologies humans hadn't yet imagined." Alex realized the magnitude of their discovery. Humanity could benefit enormously, but only if they approached it wisely. Lyra studied the energy flows. It's responding to our logic, but also to our intuition. That's why humans are needed. Machines alone wouldn't succeed. Alex nodded, feeling a surge of pride. Humans weren't the fastest or strongest species, but they were adaptable, creative, and courageous. In this alien structure, those qualities shone brighter than any weapon or machine. They began mapping the energy patterns, sending and receiving signals. Slowly, a form of communication emerged, a combination of logic, sequence, and intuition. The structure revealed more about its purpose. A repository of energy and knowledge, designed to be shared only with species capable of understanding and adapting. Alex and Lyra worked together seamlessly. Each challenge required improvisation and trust. Each pattern solved, each pulse matched, brought them closer to unlocking the nebula's secrets. Hours passed, and exhaustion threatened to slow them, but the thrill of discovery kept them going. Alex glanced at Lyra. Seeing the same spark in her eyes he felt in his own. Humans were explorers, dreamers, and problem solvers, and they had just begun to show the universe what they could do. Suddenly, part of the structure shifted violently, energy waves threatening to overwhelm the ship. Lyra yelled, "Alex, shields at maximum! Divert all power to the stabilization arrays!" Alex moved quickly, adjusting controls, rerouting energy, and guiding the ship. The pulses they had been sending synchronized perfectly with the structure's responses, calming the energy surge. For a moment, the nebula seemed to pause, acknowledging their success. Lyra exhaled, her hands trembling slightly. That was close. But we did it." Alex smiled. "Humans adapt. That's what we do." The structure's energy began to settle, forming stable patterns. Lyra studied the data carefully. "If we can harness even a fraction of this energy, it could power colonies for generations, and the knowledge here, it could advance human understanding of the universe exponentially." Alex felt awe mixed with responsibility. This was more than a discovery. It was a gift, but also a challenge. Humanity would need to approach it wisely. As the ship floated within the glowing chamber, Alex glanced at Lyra. "We make a good team," he said softly. Lyra looked at him, her cheeks tinged with pink. "Yes, we do. I couldn't have done this without you." For a moment, they simply looked at each other, the glow of the nebula reflecting in their eyes. The thrill of discovery was matched by a quiet connection, a bond formed through trust, courage, and shared adventure. Outside, the nebula pulsed with energy, a reminder that the universe was alive, full of mysteries, and waiting for those willing to reach beyond the known. Alex realized that humanity's strength wasn't just in technology or numbers, it was in courage, creativity, and the ability to see possibilities where others saw danger. "We should begin preparations for extraction," Lyra said, breaking the silence. "We can't take all the energy at once, but we can start gathering data and storing it safely." Alex nodded. "Let's do it, step by step." As they worked, Alex felt a quiet thrill. Humans had faced challenges before, but this was something different. They were proving themselves to the universe, not through force, but through ingenuity, courage, and understanding. And in that glowing heart of the nebula, Alex understood something simple and profound. Humans had a place among the stars, not just as passengers, but as explorers, problem solvers, and dreamers. And with trust, teamwork, and a bit of daring, they could shine brighter than anything in the galaxy. The nebula held many more secrets, but for now, Alex and Lyra had discovered one undeniable truth. Humanity's ingenuity and bravery could conquer the unknown, and in doing so, humans could truly dazzle. The journey back from the Saphira Nebula was quiet, but the atmosphere aboard the Lumina was electric with accomplishment. Outside the windows, stars streaked by in silent motion. Yet inside, the crew buzzed softly with discussions of what they had seen, discovered, and learned. For Alex, it was a rare moment to breathe, to reflect on everything that had happened. Lyra sat beside him at the observation window. Her eyes rested on the vast expanse of space, but she wasn't watching the stars. She was thinking, calculating, imagining the implications of their mission. "We've seen something extraordinary," she said softly. "Something no other humans have ever witnessed." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of the discovery. "It's more than energy, more than patterns. It's proof that humans can thrive even in the most unpredictable places. Our creativity, our courage, it matters." Lyra glanced at him, her lips curving into a small smile. "Yes, that's why we were chosen. That's why humans shine where machines fail." He chuckled quietly. "I suppose noticing dazzling things in a plaza prepared me for this." She looked at him, eyebrows raised. "Dazzling things?" "You," Alex replied without hesitation. "And maybe the nebula, too. Both demanded attention, both tested me. I guess I'm lucky to have noticed." Lyra's cheeks warmed. "You've grown since then," she said. "Not just in skill, but in confidence, in perspective. Humans do that. We learn, adapt, and thrive. That's why we can face the unknown." Alex felt a surge of pride. Humanity had always reached beyond the stars, building colonies, solving impossible problems, and exploring the universe with courage. And now he had seen firsthand how their creativity and intuition could unlock secrets that no machine or alien system could. The ship's sensors beeped, signaling their approach to the human colonies on Nova Prime. Alex and Lyra moved to the control deck to assist in the final navigation. Kara, the captain, steered the Lumina smoothly, guiding them past debris fields and unstable energy pockets left by the nebula's currents. "Welcome back," Kara said softly, as the city's glow appeared on the horizon. "You've done humanity proud." Alex felt a swell of emotion. For weeks, they had faced uncertainty, danger, and the unknown. And through it all, humans had proven themselves, creative, adaptable, and fearless in their pursuit of knowledge. Lyra turned to him, eyes reflecting the city lights. "We did it together. Humans always shine brightest when they trust each other." Alex smiled. "I couldn't agree more." The landing was smooth, the Lumina settling onto the spaceport platform as a crowd of researchers, engineers, and officials awaited them. Cameras flashed and voices buzzed with excitement. Humanity's first successful interaction with the Saphira Nebula's intelligence was history in the making. As they stepped off the ship, Alex glanced at Lyra. "Can you believe this? We actually did it." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "It's real. And it's just the beginning. Humans will use this knowledge, this energy, wisely, I hope." Alex nodded. "We have to. This could power colonies, stabilize ecosystems, maybe even teach us new ways to understand the universe." The crowd cheered as they were celebrated, but Alex and Lyra found a quiet corner near the spaceport observation deck. Above them, the nebula glimmered faintly in the distant sky, a reminder of the mysteries they had faced. "You know," Alex said softly, "I keep thinking about that first day in the plaza. About me staring at you. Lyra laughed, a gentle, warm sound. You mean the dazzling moment? He nodded. Yes. It seems small compared to everything we've done, but it led to all of this. To the mission, to the nebula, to everything. I'm glad I noticed you. Lyra's smile deepened, and she reached out, brushing her hand against his. I'm glad, too. And I think humans have a way of noticing things that matter, even in the smallest moments. That's part of why we shine. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. Humans weren't perfect, but they were remarkable, curious, courageous, and capable of seeing beauty and potential where others might overlook it. And Lyra, she represented that brilliance in a way that no nebula or technology could. The sun set behind Nova Prime, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. The city's lights reflected off the polished streets, glowing softly, welcoming the returning explorers. Alex and Lyra stood side by side, silent for a moment, feeling the weight of their journey and the promise of the future. You know, Lyra said finally, turning to him, you're right. Humans do shine. And sometimes we dazzle each other too. Alex smiled, feeling a connection that went beyond mission and duty. Then I guess I'll have to keep noticing, he said, repeating the words he had first spoken weeks ago. Because you really are dazzling. Lyra's cheeks warmed, and she laughed softly. Maybe that's the real discovery of this mission. Alex laughed too, the sound echoing lightly across the observation deck. Humanity had proven its strength in the stars, solved impossible problems, and faced the unknown with ingenuity and courage. But perhaps the most human discovery of all was simple: connection, trust, and the ability to recognize brilliance in the universe and in each other. As night fell over Nova Prime, the stars above twinkled like scattered jewels. The nebula remained distant, glowing faintly, a reminder that mysteries still waited beyond the edge of human reach. But Alex felt ready. Humans were ready. They had proven themselves capable, daring, and endlessly resourceful. And standing beside him, Lyra smiled, a reminder that even in a universe filled with infinite wonders, humans could find moments of beauty, discovery, and perhaps even love. The adventure had ended, but the journey of humanity, its curiosity, courage, and dazzling potential would continue, shining bright among the stars. Alex took a deep breath, looking up at the nebula far in the distance. He knew humanity had truly arrived. And maybe, just maybe, the best discoveries were still ahead.